So listen, American tennis star Coco Gauff, I don't know if you saw this, she won the French Open on the weekend. Oh, she defeated Belarus's Aryna Sabalenka, who said after the match that she only lost to Goff because Goff made too many mistakes. Yikes. So listen, she was criticized heavily, still getting backlash for not giving Coco the credit that Coco deserves, right? Sabalenka wrote in a social media statement that both things can be true. She didn't play her best and Coco earned the title. But does this statement now, I guess the apology, does it excuse those initial remarks she made after the match?
You guys are my kind of people.
Oof.
Listen, Sabalenka's apology to me is absolute trash. Yes. And I'll tell you why. I watched the French Open, I watched this live. She said, she made that comment with her whole chest. Yes. And she was not apologetic, she didn't walk back on it, and the only reason why she is apologizing now is because of the widespread backlash that she's receiving. Right? And that's, to me, those types of apology, it's not an apology, it's your PR team and everybody telling you, listen, we have a lot of endorsements and it doesn't look good, so walk it back. But I'll tell you what annoyed me even more. Listen, I watched the French Open and something that Coco did, she dominated every single match. She won the French Open clear as day that she was supposed to be the winner. And instead of her being interviewed about that win and like, tell me about what you did, tell me about that match with that person. The first two questions were about the win and then Sabalenka's comments were always brought in on every single interview. So it became more about Sabalenka than Coco Gauff winning the French Open. And I really hated that. And I felt like the media was being lazy because she actually, Coco gave us some wonderful stuff that we could have talked about or heard about. She actually wrote a note several times. She said, I want to win, I will win the French Open several times. I think we have a picture of the note. She wrote this several times, and this is something that, there's a photo of it. This is something she actually got from Olympic track and field star Gabby Thomas, who wrote something very similar just before the Paris Olympics. And it's a way of building up her self-esteem. Because can you imagine, this is a sport where you're by yourself for hours on the court. So I would have rather talked about that and heard about all the, you know, the road to that success instead of hearing about her opponent losing and being a sore loser.
Listen.
I mean, we have an Olympic athlete here on the panel. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this.
Here's the deal. Coco outlasted her, outplayed her, out-hustled her. They were playing on clay, but Coco made her look like they were playing, like she was playing on cement. The point here is, you're saying I made so many mistakes and that's the only reason you won. It's so ungracious. Listen, I've lost. You know what you do when you lose? You take your licks, you shut up, and you go home. You don't downplay somebody else's accomplishments to lick your wounds and make yourself feel better. And I truly, truly, truly believe that this has overshadowed Coco's win and we're talking about the wrong thing.
Well, that's a good point. I think that's an interesting one. Listen, I do not follow tennis, guys, at all. I did not know this story was going on. I do not know these players. So I'm fully disclosing I have no dog in this hunt. But I will say that as an observer outside of it, it's been interesting to watch how outraged people are about this. And probably the majority of people are not an Olympic athlete like yourself. They're sitting on their couch and they're watching it and they're just like, you know, taking it in, and they probably have never picked up a racket. And I just find, and they probably also, I just can't help but wonder, like, have they never had a bad day in their life where they've said the wrong thing? Like, I'm not trying to excuse this behavior, but again, just as an outsider, like, is it possible that in the heat of the moment, she just didn't choose her words the wisest? Can we let her
No, she does this.
A little
this
bit?
is what she does.
Thank you. We can't.
This is
I don't know.
thing.
I don't know this person. Is this a historic
Come to my side.
thing?
Come to my side,
Okay.
Cynthia. No. This is what she does, girl. We don't.
Okay.
She's nasty.
Okay, so she's nasty, but there has been a lot of bad behavior in tennis before. I'm from the days of, I remember John McEnroe, like, remember those days? And I don't know, I guess people, did they criticize him as badly as this person is getting criticized right now?
I think this is different because you're tearing somebody else down who kicked your butt.
Okay.
That is different than having outrage on the court.
I agree with everything that everybody says here. But I want to try to provide the other side just to, as a thought experiment, okay?
Let's see.
And the thought experiment is, we are in the era of rising elite women's sports, are we not? And are we so lucky? We're so lucky I feel so lucky that my daughter gets to grow up and know names like Coco Gauff and Sabalenka and all of these amazing women. And when you have elite athletes who are competing at the highest levels of stress, mental stress, physical stress, you're gonna say stuff because you are a hot-headed athlete. It's also the same reason why you're a champion. And so on the one hand, can I excuse her? No, she's a smart enough woman. She should know better than to speak like this. But on the other hand, are we holding women to a different standard than we do to men? Look at Nick Kyrgios. If you watch tennis, that bra should have been suspended and ousted from tennis, in my opinion, years ago. This guy trash talks the worst. Why is he still playing tennis? Look at all of these guys. He has said the worst things about opponents. So are we trying to hold women to a different standard, or are we trying to say, listen, sometimes people make mistakes and you gotta learn. I'm gonna tell you something. Sabalenka's never gonna say something dumb like that again. And you know what? Good.
That's true.
We'll see.
Good.
We'll see. I don't know about that. But you know what's interesting about that? They were also celebrating Federer and Nadal and all of this wonderful dynasty of men tennis players who really were friends with each other. And sometimes you won and sometimes you lost, but the respect and the sportsmanship was always there. So to say that the men are judged differently, listen, if you want to be the bad boy or the bad girl of a sport, well then stand 10 toes down and be that person every single time. And then you better back it up with a win every single time. And that's a problem.
And if you listen to her apologies or you read it, she was still making the excuses. It didn't seem humble. It didn't seem sincere. It was a PR move. And so I agree. If you're going to say it, own it. Don't turn around the next day and be like, actually, I'm sorry. No, doesn't make any sense. And so for me, I think the story really here isn't like men get it different than women. This is a thing that this player actually does. And I agree with you. She will never, ever do this again.
She will
and
not.
now I think hopefully Coco is just gracious, doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, just whoops her ass the next time she sees her. My bad. My bad.
Success is the best revenge.
My bad.
Success is the best revenge.
Sorry.
It's okay. You can say whatever you want. You're Perdita Felician, as far as I'm concerned. Okay.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.